Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Scala 2.9 update, which brings a ton of very cool new features to Scala. Right, okay, so we have several new performance modes. One of them being one called Passages, which we're going to look at first. So I'm going to start with this alternate 4-chord progression. Here I'm using the soft piano. Very nice. Now, you would think that you would need to have perform switched on for the passages, but you don't. If you open up the perform drop-down menu, you'll see arpeggios, strumming passages. There's loads of new arpeggio patterns been added, which we are also going to be taking a look at. They're very, very, very good. But passages here, what this does is plays the piano like a keyboard player might play it. Okay, so let's open this up and go with passage 1. All right, now you do not need to switch perform on. This is important. If you switch perform on, it will play whatever your last performance was, whether it was an arpeggio, a sequence, or what have you. So just select passage number 1 and you can exit that now. And now what happens when you play this? So it adds that extra chord in for you here. It's still in key. Okay, cool beans. Let's listen to passage number 2, and let's go in here to passages and go down 1. I think that should select passage number 2. There we go. So here's another passage. Awesome stuff. Let's change to maybe alternative number 3, and let's change our passage to passage number 3 and see how that sounds. So these passages are really, really good. Really adds extra flavor to the playing. Now, before I go any further, to kind of turn passages off, just switch perform on, and this will be in whatever performance it was. Then switch perform off again, and you'll just be back to your standard chords. Okay, let's go to alternative number 2, just to change up the chord progression. Let's look at passages and go to passage number, sorry about that, it's gone back to my arpeggios there because that was what was playing. Let's choose passage number 4. Don't forget not to turn perform on. Very nice. Lovely chord progressions as well in the alternatives. Right, okay, let's see. Passage number 5 here. Click off that. Now, there are more things you can do with passages. I'll show you that in a sec. Awesome stuff. So that was passage number 5. Let's go to alternative number 1 and choose from passage number 6 now. Okay, great stuff. Now in perform, you also have, let's just do the last passage now, but let's change this up to one of the new ones now, which we have added in here, which is progressive rock. So progressive rock progression number 1, I am going to choose passage number 7. Now this is the last of the passages, so 7 new passages, and I'm going to choose this new progression, which is progressive rock. Okay, very cool. Let's go with progressive rock number 2, and I'll now start to show you the arpeggios. So let's click perform on and off. So this is the progression without the passage. Okay, cool. And we'll go into perform now, open this up, go back and choose arpeggio, and there's a load of new arpeggios being added. So I think we went up to, we had double down already, and now converge, diverge, converge, diverge, thumb up, thumb down, and pinky up and pinky down, and Spanish tremolo have been added. Let's start with the converge. Okay, so once we choose it, we can choose the timing, the note length, the octave range, and its chords only. We listen to the pattern now. So very cool. Let's have a listen to diverge. Epic stuff. And let's now look at converge and diverge. And like I said, you can change up the timing. So let's listen to it on 1/8, and then we'll change up the timing. Very nice. Let's go to progressive rock 3. Let's change the timing on this one before we go any further. So let's change it to 1/16, which is going to be quicker. Epic stuff. Let's listen to the next one, and which is thumb up. I'll leave it on 1/16. Awesome stuff. Let's look at the next one, which is thumb up and then thumb up down. Okay, so another feel again, which will be different. Epic. And now we shall listen to Pinky Up. Okie dokie, and let's choose the next one, which is Pinky Up and Down. It's a really good one. Okay. And Spanish tremolo. I think Spanish tremolo is the last one. Let's just have a quick check. Yeah, so Spanish tremolo is the last of the new arpeggios added. Let's switch to Progressive Rock 4 and have a listen to that. Okay, now before I go any further, that was a unison note. Right, before I go any further, I'll go back to, let's try another progression now. Let's try maybe something from alternative again, maybe alternative 6 this time, and I'll switch perform off. So okay, and for this one I am going to go back to passages and show you something else. Right, so let's go back to perform, let's go to passages, let's choose any passage. Passage number 5 will be fine. Let's just try that first. Right, okay, what we're going to do is switch this little A button on, which is bind, and you'll see the keyboard at the top now changes. So if I go down to my, I think it's C1 or C2, I think it's C1, I can change the passages anytime I like by pressing the corresponding keys on the keyboard. And if I play at the top from C2, I go through there. So if you look here, I'm going to play a C2 on my keyboard now. I can go through the different chords here by pressing the keys on the keyboard and go backwards to get the vibe. Maybe when I want to drop it into a pattern. Okay, but now I can also change up these on the fly as well. So if I just play the progression like this, I'll change these keys as well. Awesome stuff. Right, let's look at one of the other new additions now. Let's go to pattern 3 where I have nothing. Now these two patterns are doing something, okay, so I'll show you that in a sec. I programmed them yesterday, but let's go to pattern 3. Now let's see if I want, say, these two are really nice. So I'm going to drop this in here. I'm going to drop that in there. So this would sound like this. Okay. Now we have a new suggest. So suggest has always been there. We click on suggest and it suggests chords, right? Now I'm going to switch this little button that says live off. You choose a chord. Right, but now if we hit live, what this will do is each chord I press, it will suggest a new set of chords. So for example, but watch this, all these chords change now. These chords change. I think, right, these are suggestions that might fit with this chord. And now these are suggestions that will fit with this chord. And there's a bunch of them, look, so, you know. That sounds quite nice. Let's drop that in. So now our little progression will sound like this. And if we're still in live suggest mode, we could maybe, and if it's blue, it's going to fit. And this one now. Okay. And you can also, you'll hear that this is playing one of the passages. So if we now go into our sequence mode, you'll see I have 3 patterns here. And you'll see I have pattern 3 selected. And if I look at my playback performance, you'll see global is selected. Now I happen to know that global includes that particular performance, because that's what I put in. But if I click on this now and create a completely new group, I'm going to hit this where it says mode legato. I'm going to choose passages, and I'm going to choose passage number 7. And now if I choose this one and choose group number 4, and maybe let's leave it at that for now. Okay, so let's play this. So this is going to play our new one. So we could say, let's select this one here, and let's look at the actual control lane for that there. Let's choose a completely new group and set a arpeggio. It's on Spanish tremolo because that's what we were using, but let's maybe choose thumb up for that. So now it's going to play these, but this one we could go, right, okay, well, let's go back to maybe group 2, which I set up with some of these other patterns here. And we can see what's going on. So group 1, group 2, group 1, group 2. And maybe on this one here, we'll add in another, well, actually, let's go with this one here. Let's change this to a new group. And group 6, which is an empty group, I'm going to choose a different, I'm going to go thumb. Let's have a look here. Thumb down and up for this one. Let's see how this sounds now. Okay, so obviously this one didn't kind of fit because it was running at 1. So let's change this back to 1/8, so they'll be the same speed. Okay, so cool beans. Let's look at our pad controls now, see what we've got going on. So you know we've got our 3 patterns. I'm going to long hold here and just drag up, and now this is going to play the entire sequence of what I've got, and there'll be lots of different changes and variations and stuff like this. So let's try that. Okay, and when you're happy with your sequence, you just hit save, give it a name, and I'm just going to replace the existing one. So I'm just going to hit OK. Name is empty. Oh, hang on a minute then. Let's see. Choose existing chord set. New features tutorial. I'm going to hit OK and overwrite it. So there you go. And there's another couple of tips and tricks we can do, right? So let's just completely clear the state. Okay, so we're onto a fresh thing so you can see what's going on. If we look in our songs here, let's maybe choose alternative one. Let's drag a few of these chords down into our Okay, so we've made a nice sequence out of those alternative chords. Let's play them. Okay, so I'm going to go into my settings here and slow these down. So at the moment, the chord duration is 2 beats. I want it to be 1 bar, so 4 beats will be fine. We don't need to give it a performance yet. Let's just see what's going on. I'm going to go into my sequencer view now. Right now, I'm going to close playback performances and look at chord voicings. Now, you can choose any particular chord and invert it. We don't want to be taking it up in semitones really, but right, okay, so let's put that back to its normal position. And down here, if we want to change all of these really quickly, like say up an octave, because they're quite low, right? All we need to do is long hold somewhere near there, select them all like this, and now if we just click one of them, they will all go up 1 octave. This is a handy thing that it saves a lot of time, so now awesome stuff. That's really good. Right, so you can also do it the same with the inversion. You can select a bunch of chords and invert them all, say +1 or +2. Let's change the chord type there. And then you could say select these ones here and invert those down 1. So now we get this. And maybe choose this one here. I'm just going to invert this back up to its normal position. See how that sounds? Very nice. That sounds really good. Right, now we can also say, well, let's add performances in. Now you can do that playback performances per chord, okay? So let's start with one of our passages here. So passage number 5. Let's choose passage number, let's go back to, it's because it's an arpeggiator. Let's go back to passages, choose passage number 7 and see how it sounds with that. So these will all play passage number 7 now. And these are the internal scalar instruments, by the way. This is soft piano. That's really nice. But at this point here, you could say, well, I'm going to click on here and add another group. So group 1. So this is your global, this is group 1. So you're changing now from this point onwards, you're changing until you change it here. So we can open this up, go to passages, and maybe it's on passage 7, which is the same as this. So if we were to play it all sound exactly the same. Let's choose passage number 6 now for the second half. See how that sounds. But what's really great now is you don't need to have the passages, because if you change any of these, it will overwrite what's already in the previous groups. So for example, I could go, right, okay, well, I'm going to create a new group. There'll be a little asterisk by it if it's empty. I'm going to choose this, maybe go into performances for this one, and it's on basic performance 1. I'll choose this one. I don't know how it's going to sound, but just this one will be on this cantable performance here. So let's see. Okay, so you get the idea. We could click on this, which is our timing, set that on half the speed it already was because that was too fast for the piece. So this cantable might sound really good on here. So I'm going to just click on this and click on group 2. And now this one will also play what this one is playing. And for this one, say just to spice it up a little bit, let's open it up, create a brand new group and open this and maybe choose, let's choose one of the new arpeggios. And let's see what's it doing now. It's just going to go up. Let's choose the Spanish tremolo and have the speed the same. Note length can be full. Octave range can be 1. That's fine. Otherwise, we'll have 2 octaves of range for that arpeggio, and I don't think that would fit. But maybe with this one also, I could go to chord voicings and say, well, I'm going to take that back down to there. So I'm going to drop it back down an octave and see how that sounds now. So let's open these up as well. And don't forget this one's going to play the cantable as well. Okay. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. Now, also, we exit, go back to our main page. We can play our sequence from here again. We can have it on loop as well. We've got lots of different instruments. I think some new instruments have been added as well. So I'm not sure though, but we can try a few. Now, let's go on to soft piano. This is really nice. Or let's play it and change it at the same time. Now, a good point here would be that piano would probably sound a lot nicer if it was all an octave lower. So if we go back into our sequence page, go to chord voicings, and I'm going to leave that one as it is. I'm going to drop all these. Down an octave, see how that sounds. Really nice. Okay, let's go back to our main screen just a sec. I'm nearly done now, but what I am going to do is create another pattern quickly. Do this. I'm going to add in alternative 2 just for fun. So I'm going to leave it there at that, right? So I'm going to look at this, our modulations. Okay, so this is just a quick tip. This is not new. This has always been there. Okay, I'm going to switch perform off and on again, see what happens there. Okay. And I'm just going to give it a passage to play. So maybe if we go back, choose passage 3. Okay. Very cool. Now, and I'm not going to bother filling up the whole thing, but if we go to our modulation page now, we have different ways we can choose different notes that will fit in with this, but can modulate to a different key and a scale. So we have destinations, but I am going to look at specifically modal interchanging. Now, if we look here, if I play this C major, and we look at our C column here, or our B, these are different chords we could use. There's a modal interchange for that particular chord, but you could choose, and anything in blue is going to be a better match. Something for you to play around with, you see. But you've got medians as well, so cool. Medians for this C. And on you go. And then, of course, any of these that you like, you can add to your progression. Awesome stuff. Okay, so there you go, guys. There is a look at, I mean, we've also got some new, I'm pretty sure a lot of these instruments are new. Not 100%, but you've got a lot of them. You've got like some really cool, you've got left-handed guitar now as well. You can choose to have the guitar fret stuff all represented left-handed guitarists as well, which is very cool. I think we've got some good synth stuff as well. This is synth, and let's see what this sounds like. Okay, that sounds nice. Let's go back to I'm going to choose our new features tutorial. I'll just open it back up. I'm going to go to my sequence here. Actually, I'll go to the pads. This will still be on piano, I would imagine. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to go back and choose. That's synth. What was it? Distance, I think it was. Or Dusty Nostalgia. What's that? That sounds might quite be nice. Maybe I did like that distance one. Let's do this, guys. If you've watched this via premiere, thank you very, very much. It's much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope if you've got Scalar, You dig into all these new kind of passages, the new arpeggios. The new live suggest mode can be very helpful if you want to try and come up with some new chords and stuff like that. Yeah, just play around with it. It's awesome. It's just a fantastically great app. Can't say enough good things about Scalar. I love it. We're going to play this out now while you say ta-ra to each other. I'll have it on loop just for fun. I'll let it play for a few minutes. Thank you very much. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please consider becoming a patron, and I will see you guys later. Ta-ra.